Joining us live right now on WAKR is Dr. Joe Congini, Akron Children's Hospital. And Joe, travesty yesterday with Tiger Woods rolling his car in the hills of Los Angeles. Reports say he's lucky to be alive. Came out of numerous surgeries yesterday. Compound fracture, shattered ankles. And I guess in the world of sports medicine, one, thank goodness he is still alive. Two, hopefully he'll be able to walk normally again. And number three, many people are wondering if he'll ever be able to play competitive golf again.
Yeah, Ray, we've witnessed what tremendous career and sports highlights from this man. And the other thing we've seen on the sports medicine side is he has been extremely resilient. He's bounced back from some injuries that I know you and I talked about. Didn't know if he'd ever be back. He had his fifth surgery this year on his back. He had his fourth surgery was a pretty major surgery, a fusion-type surgery, and yet 24 months later, he slipped on another green jacket and won the Masters again. I believe his 15th major. And a lot of people were saying that might have been his swan song. It was pretty amazing that he was able to do that and be resilient. But the question now, could he possibly bounce back? And bounce back in the way, first of all, of he's stable from the standpoint of just being alive after that terrible crash, exactly as you said. Number two, could he be able to ambulate normally? Will he be able to walk around? Will he be able to? I mean, we saw those great images of him playing with his son in that father-son tournament. I mean, that really sticks out in my mind. Will he be able to play the game with his son and walk around the golf course again? The only things that I can shed a light on that a bit, it sure sounds like both legs fractured. The right leg probably the worst from what I'm reading. But the compound fracture, I think, Ray, would be thought of in sports a little bit like probably, kind of like the Alex Smith injury, which took, if you remember the story about Alex Smith, how long it took him to come back from the compound fracture, and what an incredible victory for him to come back and even play again. For Alex Smith with the compound fracture. But then I'm more worried about, they've also talked about a crush injury further down by the ankle of where Tiger Woods is. And that's really difficult to get back to, again, like you said, even walking again, even being normal from that standpoint, let alone the standpoint of playing golf, playing with his son, playing in father-son tournaments. And even beyond that is just, I think would be very, very, very difficult to ask of him to be able to do right now, considering what we're hearing about how serious these injuries are.
Yeah, Joe, there have been a number of professional athletes who had the compound fractures and were able to get back into the athletic arena. But I agree with you, with the complexity of the powerful golf swing, the knees and the ankles, they need to be torqued perfectly, especially at that level. And when I saw that the shatter of the ankles, that's going to be major problems for him to ever be able to do that again.
Yeah, when you crush the bone, I think it's going to be the crush injury that they're talking about. That's the one that worries me the most as to whether the bone would be able to respond to that. They actually can fix some of these compound fractures. We remember wasn't it opening night, the Gordon Hayward injury and many other injuries through the years in sports with fractures. But the crush injury is the one that's most concerning to me, and we'll just have to watch from a distance and be incredibly thankful that the cage of that car was able to protect him from other bodily injuries such as internal injuries, brain injury, other thing like that. That it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, is that what you're hearing also, is that it looks like he escaped without significant injury in those areas.
Yeah, he was wearing a seatbelt, and they're saying the airbags, basically, those two incidents saved his life, is what they're saying, is they had to basically cut a hole in the windshield and get him out of that vehicle. And, of course, the compound fractures in the legs and the shattered of the ankles made it difficult to get him out. But, indeed, his life was saved. Good stuff, Joe. Thank you for joining us. Tough conversation, but really timely for, unfortunately, what we heard yesterday.
Yeah, he sure provided us with a lot of incredible thrills and chills in the sports world that we may never see the likes of again. And thanks, Ray. Have a good week.
You as well, my friend. Dr. Joe Congini, Akron Children's Hospital, joining us live this morning, giving us his observation on what may lie ahead for one Tiger Woods.